Absolutely. One of the things that we should talk a little bit about is the actors. Tell us about the cast that you've assembled, a little bit about some of the stars.
Well, Jamie Bell is somebody that Peter suggested. We love Jamie, and Peter did King Kong with Jamie. And Jamie is Tintin through and through, even Tintin when he didn't have his performance capture suit on, right, Peter?
Jamie's fantastic. I mean, the great freedom that we have is virtually any movie that you cast, any traditional movie you cast, you know, what the actors look like is obviously an important factor. I mean, it's the talent of the actor, but if they don't look right for the part, then obviously that creates difficulty. But the wonderful thing with motion capture is that you have the entire casting pool of actors available to you. I mean, you know, this is the only film that you'd ever cast Simon Pegg and Nick Frost as twins. As identical twins. And obviously Andy Serkis, I mean, you know, clearly learned everything he needed to about Captain Haddock from my test, of course, but and managed to bring a little bit of his own to it, I would have to say.
That's great. And then as far as the action itself, did you find the particular challenge getting the big scenes? I mean, the handheld helps you with the actors and the volume. But what about the large-scale set pieces?
Well, all the big epic things, the chases, the battles, none of which are, unfortunately, we could show here because they're still in various stages of development inside the process. But all the big action set pieces in the film, I could put my camera in places I never could in a live-action movie. Now, let me just say that performance capture is not a medium that is right for every film, but it was right for this particular story. And I was able to do things with the camera that I kind of, wish I could do with a live-action camera, so that might drive me back to this medium at some point. If all of you decide this is worth seeing, and it's up to you. If you decide it's worth seeing, then Peter gets to direct the next one.
So go see it. I definitely want to make my Tintin film. Please.
You know, both of you guys are known for your collaborations with other people, be it District 9 or Super 8 or all the many different things that you guys do. Yeah. And all of us are sort of fascinated by your careers. Tell us about this particular collaboration, the physics of it, and sort of the maybe how it came across, how it worked out. Did you guys take to each other pretty quickly?
Yeah, I mean, I first met Peter when I was standing at the microphone like this at the Kodak Theater, and I, took my hand and shook his while I handed him his Academy Award for Lord of the Rings. We ever shook hands and ever met with about 800 million people watching.
Not the most intimate way to meet somebody, especially someone that I've admired for the majority of my life.
Well, I think when we figured out that this was something that we loved equally, the collaboration was effortless. Except for one person, my best friend George Lucas. This is the best collaboration I have ever had, and we worked, side by side, creatively, making every single decision from the beginning of the screenplay process, written by Stephen Moffat, Joe Cornish, and to the approval of all the shots that is ongoing right now. This has been such a wonderful treat for me, a real honor for me to work with this guy. It's just like working with your brother. It's very, very easy. I guess in New Zealand there's a lot. The energy in New Zealand isn't exactly the hyper energy of Los Angeles.
No, thank God.
I've had to re-energize myself to be able to speak the same language.
Well, fantastic. Well, pretty soon we're going to take some questions from the audience, and I would remind you that questions do end in a question mark, and that it should actually be a real question, not a statement or a proposal or a pitch or a threat or anything like that. There are some microphones, so get ready for that. I would be booed out of this building if I didn't ask both of you a couple questions about some other things you have coming. Peter, The Hobbit. How's that?
The Hobbit, what's that again? No, it's great. I mean, I guess, has anybody seen the latest blog that was on? I'm having a hell of a time. The delightful thing with The Hobbit, honestly, is that I'm enjoying it way, way more than I ever thought I would, and I'm so pleased that I'm doing it. It's literally, I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast. I mean, it's an interesting way to make a movie like that, because we're in a short break now. We start shooting it in a few weeks' time. We resume shooting it in 3 weeks' time. We've done 60 days of shooting and got another just about 200 to go. So almost there. But when we set out, we wanted to cast Martin Freeman as Bilbo. Literally, think of anybody else better. And Martin had already signed up to the new series of Sherlock. So this break is actually somewhat enforced by the fact that Martin has had to return to the UK to do Sherlock, but it's terrific because it's allowing me to re-energize, and we're doing a lot of pre-production for the next couple of 100 days of shooting. But it's going fantastically well. Absolutely loving it.
And then, Stephen, there's a very long list here. You have Warhorse, you have Lincoln, and then one I'm very excited about, Robopocalypse. I really enjoyed the Daniel Wilson novel. Tell us, how do you keep it all straight? I mean, how can you juggle all that?
Well, I've always done things, pretty much, I kind of operate on about 5 or 6 different tracks, all running in the same direction. And I love doing multiple projects at the same time, because one thing that directors lose, first of all, the first thing the director, really mourns the loss of, but happens to all of us, is our objectivity. And I find that when I do more than one project at the same time, I can go away and work a bit on Lincoln, and then let's say come back to post-production on Warhorse and really see it for the first time. So I use the projects to really, create some clarity in the way I can return and see what I can change, what I can shorten, how I can make it better. So it's actually been a benefit to me, not a deterrent.
Wow, that's fantastic. Okay, well, let's see. I think we're going to try to take some questions from the audience. Are we ready for that?
I got a question for you, but I'm sorry, I'm so nervous here. Is it true that when you was filming Tintin, that Daniel Craig, when he met Clint Eastwood, that he wasn't wearing mocap tights?
Yeah.
Isn't that Andy Serkis?
Andy Serkis.
Okay, good luck beating that, sir. Better be good.
Hi, how the hell do you follow that?
Back to the movie, but it was over. And then I realized, why was I feeling so sad that experience had ended? And I realized, for the first time in my life, that I wanted to have children. I never felt that before E.T. I have 7 now, thanks to E.T. Those movies as good as the directors who I hired to direct those movies, because those movies were more a part of their DNA than mine. But if there was one movie that I gave away, that I loved as close, as dearly as anything, and yet I gave it to, I thought, the best person for the movie, and I could have directed it. My wife read the script and said, "If you don't direct this, I'm going to leave you." Of course, she was kidding. We've been together almost 20 years, but that would be American Beauty. But even though that was the one that got away, it got away to the right director, Sam Mendes, and he won an Oscar for it.
Peter, how about you? Is there one that you would have?
Well, I've only produced this with mine, haven't I? I think it's just about the only one I've apart from Tintin. I'm very happy Stephen directed Tintin.
Tintin.
No, I'm not really, I find that I get so excited about movies that when I'm imagining them, that I kind of just sort of naturally want to go and direct them. I mean, District 9 was very much Neil Blomkamp's idea, so that was obviously, a no-brainer that he would make that. But anytime I think of an idea and think for a moment that I don't want to produce it, eventually I fall in love with it, and so I'm very happy to have done what I've done.
It's been a great year for you, Stephen, with, obviously Super 8, now Cowboys and Aliens, Transformers. So Producing seems to be going pretty well.
Yeah, I like producing. I mean, my favorite producing I've ever done in terms of, and here's what I do as a producer. I hire the director and I go away. And that's the smartest thing I can do as a producer. By the way, that's the smartest thing that most producers should do when they produce for directors that should run the show. You know, my happiest moment producing was producing Bob Zemeckis' 3 Back to the Future movies.
Different themes, but we wanted to start the cinematic life of Tintin, as you could say, with a story that brought Captain Haddock and Tintin together, because for us that relationship was critical. Even though Hergé started the Tintin series without Captain Haddock in the 1930s, by 1939, 1940 he developed the Captain Haddock character, and so we wanted that meeting between those two to be part of the first film. And that meeting comes from The Crab with the Golden Claws. So we've taken a section of that and we've grafted it into The Secret of the Unicorn as the body of the film, if you like, as the central part of the mystery. And The Secret of the Unicorn was really chosen for various reasons. I mean, it was a great plot, it was a great story, and Stephen and I thought of ways in which we could expand and develop it a little further, even to make, you know, turn the book into a movie. But it also, having developed the beginnings of this relationship with Haddock and Tintin, The Secret of the Unicorn goes into Haddock's backstory. His ancestry is inherently part of the plot, and so that appealed to us because that character of Haddock is being established in the movie. So it seemed to make sense to start with that, with the combination of those two stories.
And Peter Jackson is going to photograph this. So you, sir, are the luckiest man on the planet.
I just wanted to know if you still use film.
I use film on everything except Tintin because there is no film step in the technology. Otherwise, everything else is on film.
Come to Comic-Con to celebrate Hollywood magic, and when you guys think Hollywood magic, you think Peter Jackson and you think Steven Spielberg. Ladies and gentlemen.